Hi traders, and welcome to the Technical Analysis Market Watch on Friday the 13th of December. So I've seen some really good volatility this week. It's given us some good opportunities to test some key levels on some of the currencies and indices that we look at each week. So we'll jump straight into the charts and see if we can identify any trades for today or early into next week. All right, so we'll start out here with the Aussie USD, and we can see another big week of selling, really. Like, this is a daily chart on the Aussie, and we can see, look, we had a little bit of conjecture here where we basically had reversal candles 3 in a row with relatively big bodies, but I think that the consensus is that we're going short. Even this last candle, that's a very, very big wick candle that we can see right here. We'll go to the smaller time frame to really break that down, but you can see that it's been a very, very volatile day on it. Big moves up, big moves down, and really tracking quite low in terms of once it hit the peak. It's one of those things where it's all the little things we talk about each week. We see the patterns playing out all the time. We've got a head and shoulders on a 15-minute chart at a point of resistance. Once it broke the neckline, came down, tested the neckline from above, or from below, sorry, and you can see the moving averages above where the resistance was again. So, shoulder, head, shoulder, break of the neckline, test of the 20 and 50 moving average, down she goes. Comes back and tests the 20 moving average again, down she goes. Really, really good trading from a technical standpoint, and especially if you're only scalping. So an interesting one on the Aussie USD. Look, it's looking, the dollar index is very, very strong. We'll touch on that a little bit later on, so we can see why it's very clear the pressure is on these currencies at the moment. But right now, it is at a point where there's very, very heavy resistance or support. You don't need me to tell you that. You can see it right through there. You can see it there, and it's doing it again here. But the thing that you've got to remember is that each time it did touch these really low levels at around that sort of 63.50, it had two very, very big reversals that really counteracted it and moved nearly 400 points the other way. So whether this is the one, it has come down in a lot more orderly fashion this time, though. Like, it's been actually grinding its way down rather than just big sell-offs. That was just a big sell-off candle that reversed. This one was similar, came down in a big hurry and then reversed very quickly. This one has ground down. So you've got to pay attention to that and really not just jump in thinking there's going to be automatic support there, even though it has reversed the market very, very quickly several times. We want to make sure that we are paying attention and waiting for a proper momentum reversal from here. So we want to see a series of higher highs and higher lows on a smaller time frame to ensure that we've got a momentum swing before we start going long. But good trading on the Aussie. All right, US dollar CAD, strength to strength is the key word for this one. Just basically just pushing off the 20 moving average every time it touches it. Again, we've seen a really, really big breakup. In my mind, it needs to probably come back and test this level here before I would get keen on it. I'd like the 20 moving average to catch up around this level here. Ideally, in a perfect world, we'll see a little bit of weakness, pull it back to around the 141 with a moving average there to help support it, even if the moving average creeps up a little bit higher, and then look for a pullback. Because the problem with what we're doing, if you're entering here, the last proper pullback is down here, and that's where your stop loss has to be. So it's a very, very big stop loss for, going into an area that has not been, you've got to go back a long, long way, before you can actually see. Here we are. The last time it was at this level was basically early 2020. So I'm not going to draw a horizontal line there because realistically, we know it went all the way to 146 at that point, and then it started the big spiral down. We don't really want to preempt. It's just too far away to use that as a proper resistance point to find a take profit. So for me, I would rather just scalp it and just trade with the momentum flow that we're seeing right now. And I would like to see it pull back to around that 141 and then look for opportunities to get back into that 142. If you see pullbacks on the smaller time frame and you want to join in even without that pullback, that's okay as well. But just be mindful that it's going into territory that it hasn't been at for nearly 4 years or 4.5 years. So you want to keep that in mind as a potential reversal might be a little bit aggressive. All right, over to the US dollar CAD, US dollar yen now, sorry. We can see here Another pretty good week, a strong week actually, bounced off the level that we were talking about last week, and we've seen some really, really good strength. If you go to the smaller time frames, you can see that we've had really, really good opportunities on the 1 hour straight up. 15 minute we'll go to in a second, but when you're scalping these ones, you know the momentum shift has happened on the bigger time frame. That's why it's always important to check those time frames. You know which direction you're trading in, and obviously you just jump in on the pullbacks. Pretty straightforward. 15 minute will give you the same. If you go back, you can see here that we've got some really, really good pullbacks out of that zone. Pullback to roll reversal zone, another pullback there. Pretty good trading on the US dollar yen. Where it can go to from here, well, look, you know, it's really the 153.50 is probably the obvious target. It's not very far away from there. It's only a scalping opportunity now, but you probably would have already caught a lot of this move anyway. Like there's been quite a significant move off this base, and it's done the job. So there's still a little bit more to go, but again, really you want to be entering on pullbacks on a smaller time frame to make sure that you're getting in at a good level. But good trading on the yen, but targeting around the 153.50 is probably where I would leave that for now. Dollar index, broken through, really, look, it's been promising to go up. Once it broke that 20 moving average, I've been saying in the streams all week that we're looking really, really strong on the US dollar index, and it's broken through now. It's wanting to test. I think it could potentially get to that 107.50 relatively easily. 109 is probably the overall target if we see a break of this level with a daily. I think if we get a day break candle above this level here around that 107.50, I think that we're looking really, really strong for a move back up or all the way up to the 109, which is going to spell quite a significant sell-off in the euro. Of course, we'll get to that in a second, but really, really heavy push up on this one. Again, if you go to the 15-minute chart, you can see you had multiple opportunities to get in. It's traded really, really well and behaved itself, doing all the things that we talk about, higher high, higher lows, all the way up, knowing that the momentum is strong, and the 1 hour is, again, even better. You can see that it's really, really good, but I think it's not done yet. There's still a lot of momentum to push up in this level. So look for a move potentially a little bit higher up to around that sort of 107.50 where I'd be targeting. And if we get a daily close above there, especially if we get a weekly close above there, and that's where we start the week off next week, that'd be very good for potential moves. The euro, of course, is the opposite of that, and it's been selling off quite heavily this week. Push up to the 20 moving average there. The rest of the week has been a sell-off, but we know that we've got very strong support here at 104.50. Now, look, if we get that dollar index to 109, there's no question the euro is going to be somewhere down in the low 1.3s, but at this stage, that's all it's doing. I mean, look, it failed to make a new high here. As you can see, it attempted to go higher, but failed. So you'd never go in on a long on that. The 20 moving average pulled it up and has been doing nothing but sell since. It's at a precarious level. I wouldn't be jumping in on the short, all hands on deck, because really the 104.50 is a very strong level, and it's proven that to be in the past, not just here. So if we get a daily close below the 104, that would be my trigger point to start aiming lower on the Euro USD. If we get a close below that, then we start to really get a bit more excited about a long-term short. If we start to see a higher high, higher low sequence from this point onwards, which is a strong support zone, that'd be okay as well. I'd be looking at trading back up to that 105.50. That would be my first target, and the 20 moving average may well be there as well by that point. So then we're going to have another secondary resistance point to aim for from a take profit standpoint. And the S&P 500, look, a little bit of weakness today, but it's been a bit of a nothing week. It pretty much started and finished at the same spot. We've got another trading session to go, of course, but all-time highs, basically touched again for the 6,100 got hit early in the week, and you can see that we tried to do it again in this previous day's candle. Today was a little bit weak, 0.5%, but look, there's not a lot going on even on a 15-minute chart. It's a little bit hard to trade at the moment. Nothing there. You look at that, and there's no opportunity at all. Didn't give us any of the opportunities that we talk about from a TA standpoint. So it's one of those ones that we leave alone. I've been saying it all week, really. We just have to wait and see. We need either a support test of the 20 moving average at around that 60.20, at which point we can look for long opportunities to 6,100. Or a daily break below the 20 moving average, below 6,000. Then we start to target that lower point at around 58 80. That would be my target for there. So really, until it either breaks below 20 moving average on a daily or breaks above with a daily candle, I think we just sit and watch this one and let it play out a little bit. I wouldn't be too ambitious. Let's just see how it unfolds. All right, thank you very much for joining me this week. We've had a really, really good trade setups, I think, on a lot of things that we talk about. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of some of those. Next week is starting to look good. We usually get a little bit funky towards the end of the year in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll see that volatility continue, and we'll see if we can hit the ground running in what will be the last week of the presentations for 2024. So thank you very much for joining me again, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.